Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I've spent most of my working life in the NHS, but speaking for the first time in the House, I must start with a confession. As some of the northerly members will recognise in my voice, I was not born in the West Country. No. It is now 35 years since I was posted to then RAF Chivenor on the beautiful North Devon coast, while serving in the Royal Air Force. At the time, my flight sergeant at RAF Larbrook in Germany told me going to North Devon would probably turn out to be an adventure. I confess to the House, I do not think this place is quite what he or I had in mind. I would firstly like to thank my family, friends and all my supporters over the years. Without them, I would not be here. Especially my 2-year-old grandson, Clayton, who probably won me 1 or 2 votes. My constituency is fortunate to be famous for its stunning landscape and areas of outstanding natural beauty. Its beaches, moors, farmland and forests that draw countless visitors every year. Farming and tourism sustain many of our rural communities and historic market towns like South Molton, set in rolling countryside, giving way to stunning seaside destinations like Willicombe, Instow and Braunton. Chivenor, where I was so lucky to be posted all those years ago, is now home to the Royal Marines Commando Logistics Regiment, and my area has a proud military history, now famous surfing beaches like Willicombe and Saunton Sands, were once used for training grounds to prepare Allied forces for the Normandy landings. But behind the natural beauty, the challenges my area faces are stark. Like many rural and coastal constituencies, it suffers from low wages, nearly £100 per week less than the national average, and an acute housing shortage that prices younger people out of our own communities or prevents them from starting a family in North Devon as I did. Even in the 2020s, parts of my constituency still face real deprivation. In some parts of Ilfracombe, for example, the proportion of young people attaining level 4 qualifications is barely above 25%, while life expectancy is 10 years lower than other parts of Devon. Out of uniform, I joined the NHS, starting out as a mental health nurse at North Devon District Hospital, the most remotest acute hospital in mainland England, visiting patients across unique communities like Coombe Martin and Linton, and eventually leading the campaign to build a chemotherapy and day treatment unit. My area suffers from shortfalls in important medical services like pharmacists, nursing and particularly dentistry. Our hospital now has intensive care units and operating theatres that are approaching 50 years old and desperately need of investment from the new hospital programme. However, I have also been astonished by the possibilities on offer in my constituency. Numerous coastal seats across the southwest, mine included, stand to benefit massively from investment in floating offshore wind in the Celtic Sea. With clean energy, an extended supply chain and high-paying jobs, this is potentially a shot in the arm to the economy of the Great Southwest. I would like to pay tribute to my predecessor, Selene Saxby. She was absolutely right when she identified this as a massive opportunity that, if done right, could benefit the region for decades to come. North Devon District Hospital will also soon be home to a £1.4 million clinical research centre that will lead groundbreaking studies into heart conditions, joint problems and osteoarthritis. Few people know that Barnstable, where I live, is also home to Accord Healthcare, a pharmaceutical group that manufactures a staggering 10% of all the medication used in the NHS, a vital part of this country's critical supply chain. They have just announced a groundbreaking, newly orally administered medication, hot off the press this week, for prostate cancer, something that may benefit as many as 40,000 cancer sufferers, and a medication that is among the very first of its kind. Another remarkable firm, SEA, has just won a £135 million contract to supply cutting-edge defensive countermeasure systems to the Royal Navy. Thanks to their hard work and some innovative engineering on an industrial state in my constituency, young people will be kept safe as they serve their country in uniform. Madam Deputy Speaker, my constituency is one of hidden opportunities around every corner. We must seize them. It is immediate privilege to me to be North Devon's voice in this place, and I intend to do it justice. Thank you.
Yeah.